want to thank our sponsors who help each week put out the content for these podcasts as we invite different people from throughout the community to tell their story. So sincerely, Soul Source Restoration. Check them out, soulsourcerestoration.com. If you ever have an issue with water damage, mold, fire damage, they're there to help. It's a local Cranston company that's supporting not only this podcast, but people every day throughout the community. Check them out. Thank you for our sponsor. What's going on, Rhode Island? Welcome back to another edition of the Park Podcast here at the Historic Park Theater and Event Center. I'm here with my guest, my friend, Coach Jhamal Diggs. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for being here, Coach.
Good to see you.
I know we met. You were next door at the time. You were Cranston East coach. You were coaching Beat the Odds Lifestyle. If we could start off, what is Beat the Odds?
Beat the Odds is, it's an AAU program, but it's also a foundation, an organization that helps inner city youth and adults. People, they look at it as, only an AAU program, but no, it's a program that is for the community. We go around, we help the community, we help the homeless. Basically, we're just here to be a foundation for positivity. If you need help with anything, we go around, we give school supplies out to schools during the school year. We give jackets during the holiday season. So we're just here for the community, a foundational organization just to help boost and be there for the community.
And when you're doing those activities and those giving back situations, what does that teach the kids that you're coaching?
Basically, sticking together, everybody is in a different place at a different time. You may need help at one time, your peers may need help at another time, and we have to be there for each other. I think that in this day and era, people forget that. We don't help each other anymore.
We all need help.
We all need help.
At every level. Right?
And absolutely. And people forget that. I think that's one missing thing right now in society. We don't want to help each other and love each other and show that care for each other. We're scared to, so I try to teach my kids, boys and girls, or all my student athletes, help each other get to the next level or the next step. Yep. Don't be scared to help each other. Don't be scared to show each other that love or that care that somebody may need. Just a tad bit of love can help somebody elevate, Yep. So by helping the community, and a lot of these kids are from Cranston, from Providence, giving back to where you're from is very important.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I remember learning your story or learning what you were doing, and I knew I wanted to be a little bit more involved, right? And then you had told me that a lot of those kids had never been on a plane or had never been able to travel and go to a tournament. And then we were fortunate enough to utilize both of our networks to raise that money to get them on a plane to play in that tournament. And what kind of residual effects would that have just from that little bit of communities coming together to get those kids to have that experience? What did that do for them?
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you once again for that. That was 2 years ago, which time flies, but that was awesome. Those kids, they're never going to forget that.
Yeah.
I look at pictures in my phone till this day of the trip to Chicago, of them getting on the plane. A lot of those kids, that was their first time on a plane.
Yep. Went
out to Chicago. Wasn't about wins and losses, but the experience, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, a moment that we're not going to forget. Those kids are not going to forget that. They're going to remember that for a lifetime. And it's an experience that is going to go a long way for them. It teaches them, anything is possible. So I would love to do it again, but like I said, thank you for that.
No, I appreciate it. We've spoke on the past about the importance of giving and how it makes us feel better. Life goals, right? Both, I think we kind of have a same path or a trajectory
Yep.
path of where we both enjoy just coaching and helping others, and that's kind of our life mission, at least at this point in the process, right? And what I've continued to watch you do and evolve from not only that, you're the founder of that Beat the Odds lifestyle, but you were also Coach of the Year over here at Cranston East, and that couldn't have been easy. I've watched what you've had to navigate through to grow that team together to play at the highest level, and how did that feel, getting an honor of that, just for coaching, right? Doing what you love.
It was great. Even though some people wanted to downplay it, and a lot of people look at the Coach of the Year award as wins and losses. For me, it's not that. And I had this conversation with you not too long ago. It's not the wins and losses for me, and I tell people that all the time. the wins and losses will come.
Yeah.
But especially on this side of town, Cranston East, these kids, they need something different.
Yeah.
You know, when I first got there 3 years ago, bad culture, you know, poor attitude, poor commitment, and we flipped that around. You know, when we flipped it around, the wins started to come, but the wins started to come after you switched the culture around.
And it doesn't happen overnight.
It does not happen overnight.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a blessing. It takes a little bit of luck. It takes hard work. It takes a lot of things. It takes commitment from not just the coaches, but I say from the teachers, from administrators.
Sure.
You need that support. And, you know, I was reminiscing with my buddy, Phil, who's now the active head coach there. And we say we started in the trenches. You know, we dug deep, we got out of it, we started winning, and then, you know, try to build a positive culture, showed those kids that we cared. Part of that was taking the trip to Chicago, outside of Cranston East, but with those kids who also attend Cranston East, and just trying to help them. You know, I look at that award. It's a great thing, but to know that I changed some lives,
amen.
That's more important. You know, at that time, some kids.
Some of them are playing in college now.
Absolutely, we have Kathy Hernandez, who's playing in college right now, Hope Halverson, who's playing in college. The goal is to have more kids play in college. We have Maya Jimenez up and coming, who knows could be a scholarship athlete. So the goal is to have these kids play at the next level. But it wasn't hard. You know, at the time, they're looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, I know what it takes. You know, I know the expectation. But just trying to get them to get their minds around that, was a lot of work. It absolutely was, you know. So yeah, I won Coach of the Year, but more importantly, in my heart, to know that culture shifted. Whether people say he did it or he didn't, I know in my heart what I did. A lot of people in my inner circle and people who really know the truth know what we did for that program.
It's almost like the award doesn't matter, right? It matters how you feel.
It matters, you know,
and the residual effects on the kids, right?
Because you know, at the end of the day, it's not about me. You know, I'm gonna be 30 in June, and it's like I've already went through those steps. We already went through high school. You know, we already went through the experiences and the different changes and adversity. Now it's for us to help them. You know, so the award, it was great. Don't get it wrong. It was great. But if I help the kid, you know, just one or two kids out of that bunch, my heart is satisfied. Yeah,
amen. Amen. I remember we had Marshawn Brooks come to practice. And, you know, it was cool to hear his advice. I remember specifically one of the questions was, what if I'm not the star, right? What if I'm just a supporting athlete? I can't remember the girl that asked it, but I remember it took him aback at first, and he said, you know what, in life, we're all going to have a role. And as long as we can do it to the best of our ability, then that's all we can do, right? So I remember talking to you specifically about that, and you said after that person started trying a little bit harder at practice each and every time. So even exposing kids to those situations of people that have done it, right, that have played at the higher level, I'm sure that you've seen maybe more out of practice or whatever it may be from opening them up to that opportunity, or going to PC and, you know, listening to Coach Cooley or whatever it may be, right?
You know, it's funny you say that, because Marshawn Brooks, it's like he's been a star his whole life, you know. So that was a great question for that student athlete to ask him. And we all have a purpose in this life. We all have a role that we have to play. And when I tell the kids that, everybody wants to be the star.
Sure.
You know, parents want their kids to be the star. And I get that, and I understand that. But there's a role that has to be played by everyone. Bill Belichick. I'm a big Bill Belichick fan because of that. Everybody has their job, and everybody do their job, you know. And I believe that's how you're going to be successful. That's how it works. If you do your job to the T, you're going to elevate. You know, and on a team, that's if everybody takes care of their job, it's all going to equal out to one, and it's going to be a win.
And those lessons transcend in life, right? As you get on to career and you get on to ecosystems and building businesses and whatever it may be,
it takes
everyone
a village.
has to do their role. And if someone is deficient in doing that role, then the team breaks. Or there's a part of the team that breaks, right? So when you're coaching at the highest level, it's how do you continue to keep those teams glued? How do you because it's going to change every day, right? Personalities, egos,
Oh man,
whatever
yeah.
it may be. But it's a big role being at the top, coaching and trying to keep everyone intact. Which is, you've obviously shown that you've had the ability to do a great job doing that, because we haven't even got to. Now you're the assistant coach in just a very short couple of years at Rhode Island College for the women's program. And how does that feel?
Great feeling, you know. It was tough leaving Cranston East. I built a relationship with those kids at Cranston East, so it was tough, but definitely a really good decision. You know, I got the call from Jenna Cosgrove, who's the head coach, and in the summertime, she's like, "Hey, you know, I got an open position. You want to come on over?" At first, I said no, you know, because I'm like, I'm in the gym with my girls at East all summer. No. And she's like, "What do you mean?" You know what? Think about it. Take a few days and think about it. And I'm like, all right, I'll get back to you. And I'm thinking, I talked to my brother, talked to some close relatives, and I said, you know what? I think it's that time, you know. Goes back to, what do I want to do? I want to continue to impact lives, but I also want to impact lives on a higher level.
Yep.
And, you know, it was a really good decision. I'm learning a lot. And I'm growing a lot these past 2 months. I've grown so much just as a person and as a coach. So I'm super thankful. I'm super grateful for the opportunity that was presented to me. And we're just going to keep moving along, you know, keep, you know, embracing all the elevation that's coming towards me, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Amen. Amen, Coach. You know, you have to coach a different athlete a different way. Every single person is different, right? Everyone's molded differently. We all have different things that we've grown up from, scars, wounds, heals, whatever it may be that makes us who we are, and, you know, makes us the passionate people that we are. What, at the higher level, have you had to transition in your coaching method or coaching style to coach differently to young adults, right? Versus, for the most part, kids, right?
I think that's a everyday battle, you know, and I'm just being honest from a coaching standpoint. It's not easy. People don't understand that this is my decision. You know, I'm not forced to be a coach.
Yeah.
I'm not forced to help somebody develop or teach somebody life lessons or teach them just how to play the game of basketball, volleyball, whatever sport. But one thing I've also learned is that I can teach every kid the same, you know, but also I have to treat every kid differently.
Sure.
And people don't understand that. They'll look at me and say, "What do you mean? You have to treat everybody the same?" No, I don't. I can also teach a kid differently too. You know, I don't have to teach everybody the same.
Yeah.
But some kids, this generation is super sensitive.
Yeah.
You know, they don't understand tough love. I'm a tough love coach.
Yeah.
You can ask any of my kids, and they'll tell you. They'll say sometimes, Coach Diggs, he doesn't even listen to us, but after 3 or 4 years down the road, they'll come back and say,
you respect him more, yeah.
Kathy Hernandez actually texted me a few days ago, and she's like,
super proud of her.
I miss it. I miss you. And anyone who knows, we went back and forth daily.
Yeah.
But she respects it, and now she honors it because she understands what I was trying to do.
From a different perspective as an older adult. Yeah.
Right. Some of the parents call me Coach Carter, and we laugh about it. But I understand that, hey, this kid, I can say some things to them to get them going and to fuel them. Some kids want that.
Sure.
You know, they want that coach that will put the fire in their backpack and you know, let's get going, you know.
Yeah.
But then there's some other kids where you have to pull them over. Hey, come here for a second. Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
All right, talk to them for about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, coach, get on the same page and let them go. So I understand that, and it took me a while. You know, I've been coaching for about 6-7 years now, and not even within the first 2 to 3 years, I understood that. It took some time to really understand. Okay, this is how you have to approach the situation.
Sure.
This is how you have to approach this kid.
And the same is in business, right? I have to approach different people within my teams differently to get the best result that I can out of each individual for a common goal.
Right.
But as long as everyone knows what that common goal is and we're all bought into that goal,
we're good. We're golden.
We're working together towards figuring that out solution. Right?
Even in college right now at Rick, you know, great group of young ladies. Some are tougher mentally than others, which you're going to get on a team, but you just have to know how or what will fuel a kid. How do you get a kid going?
Yep.
How do you approach that kid so they can play well today? And hey, if you got to do some things, talk to a kid a certain type of way for them to succeed and play well, that's what you got to do. Yeah. That's one thing a lot of coaches don't know how to do.
Yep.
And hey, I think that's my gift. I can get a kid going. I can get a kid believing.
What advice would you give to a parent who's got a kid going into a sport early for the best success, or just making sure that they stay involved and want to stay involved?
Hard work and commitment. Hard work and commitment. From a parent standpoint, it's not about a kid going pro. I think we look at a lot of young athletes, and the first thing, you're going to go to the NBA. You're going to be an NBA star. You're going to be an NFL star. Look at the percentage. Look at the percentage of even playing college, whether it's D1, D2, D3, or JUCO,
Sure.
NAIA. The percentage is low.
Yeah.
So, no, we're not looking at a kid going pro. Let the kid enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Right? Commit to it. Let the kid work hard, but let them enjoy, elementary school. Okay, boom, now 6th to 8th grade. Let them enjoy that time with their friends.
Yeah.
And then when you get into the 9th and 10th grade, you can hit another level where it's like, okay, another level of commitment, another level of hard work. What do you want to do with this? I tell a lot of my athletes in high school, everyone here can play D3. Now let's take a step forward, D2, D1, to become a scholarship athlete.
Yep.
Different ball game.
Sure.
But as a parent, let them have fun. Just let them have fun. Let them learn the game. A lot of parents step in between. They want this, they want that. And it's like, they're 11, they're 12,
Yeah.
they're 10.
Yeah.
Let them learn and have fun.
Sure.
So that would be my advice, really. Let the coach do what they got to do. Let the kid learn and have fun. And then, boom, when you get into high school, you ask the kid, what do you want? It's not about what the parent wants.
Yeah.
It's what the kid wants.
I think that's a great lesson. Fun is got to be the core of it early on, or no one's going to sign up for something that's just work. But then when you get to that point, 20 years from now, I just had my 20th reunion last weekend, and it feels like it flew by in a heartbeat. But you look around a room, you look around teachers and mentors and coaches and people that have affected my process really early on, and I have such a different perspective and profound respect for those people now that gave that extra attention when I was just a kid, understanding the lessons now that I didn't necessarily understand while I was navigating through them as a kid, right? You spoke on that earlier of a student athlete of yours who's propelled to the next level and already has seen that impact that you've made. I think coaching is the greatest impact you can make on a society, on an ecosystem, on bringing people together, on understanding different perspectives, on growing everyone around us. And you've said some things pretty eloquently in this conversation, is everybody's different. We're all different. You're going to get something different out of every single person that you coach or teach or learn about, but understanding each other's perspectives and understanding a little bit more about each other will help us all grow.
Absolutely. It's funny you say about your 20th anniversary, because I think that's one thing that I battle with, looking at the coaches that I had in the past, right? And it's a really sensitive topic for me because I love sports. That's all I wanted to do growing up, was to play sports, whether it was basketball, football, volleyball. All I wanted to do was be an athlete and go out there on the field and just play, right? And as I look back, coaches really don't understand the impact they can have on a youth, on their life, on their future.
Sure.
Positive or negatively. And as I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I had a coach that would pick me up when my parents had to work.
Yeah.
I wish I had a coach that would work out with me Monday, Wednesday, Friday and teach me the fundamentals. I was self-taught a lot.
Sure.
I had my brothers who, okay, this is how you shoot, while they're running in and out of the house.
Yeah.
This is how you shoot. All right, go back out there and try it. And I'm trying to fix my shot on my own.
Yeah.
Or I had, a few cousins here and there who would stick by me and be like, okay, this is how you do this and this. But then that's it. You know, I didn't have that consistent
luxury
mentor.
Yeah.
And
but it seems like you're changing that now for kids, right? With what you're trying to produce.
So that is why I say it all the time. That is why I coach.
Yep.
Because I wish I had that person.
That's your why.
That is my why.
Yeah.
You know, and I look at kids and I'm like, listen, I will be there for you.
Yep.
You know, as long as I can, God willing, I will be there for you. I will try to help you along the way.
And that same example that you said you didn't have that person, I know you pick up some of your student athletes and you go the extra mile, and it does make a difference. And, you know, I'm glad to be sitting here next to you today and be able to say that, because I've watched the profound impacts that you've had, not only directly here in our community, but beyond that, because I've been fortunate enough to be let into your teams and learn more about the players, and they reach out to me now too for some advice at times, which feels good to be able to give that influence, to be able to give that opinion and perspective from a different scenario or a different seat for them to grow and navigate through life, you know.
I appreciate that. You know, it's so important to me. You know, people think that, oh, he cares about winning or he just cares about elevating. No, it's not that. I care about the kids. Sure. Because a lot of people don't know, but they're like, I'm not from here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they'll say, oh, you know, oh, he wants to win, or he's getting all these accolades, or he's getting coach of the year. No, that's coming with me working with my kids, you know, sure, which is going to come. But I don't want to happen to these kids what happened to me.
Absolutely. It's funny, Coach, that resonated with me, because I read a book that changed my life. It's called The Four Agreements. I recommend it as frequently as I can to anyone. It's basically a mindset book. One of the chapters is don't take it personally, because everyone is always going through something. Everyone's always navigating through something. They might come at you in rage, and it has nothing to do with you. It's they're having a bad day at work, whatever it may be. The reason I say don't take it personally, because some of the greatest advice I've gotten throughout the process is, as an empathetic leader, as an empathetic person, as someone who leads with their heart, I find it impossible at times not to take it personally.
It's tough. Yep.
But so many times through the process, people have written things about me or said things about me or whatever it may be. When I'm putting my hat in the name for lieutenant governor or whatever it may be, I'd be seeing someone, he's not experienced enough, or that knew nothing about me. So ultimately, I think what I took from that is, you got to coach these kids and you got to train these kids, and even myself, I got to be comfortable with that man in the mirror. I got to look in the mirror every day and I got to say, no, I don't care what people say, and I got to block the noise. But I have to have those processes throughout my life that have allowed me to get to this point that I can strongly go, no, I got this every single day. And I think that's what sports and what you're coaching is leading you up to in these hard lessons of life that they eventually will have, right?
I've learned so many different life lessons, Ed. You know, I'm 29, and I've learned a bunch of different situations, and which I love, you know. So I'll go back to Cranston East 2 years ago, the season before last. We were 0-5. The year I won Coach of the Year, we were 0-5. We had to win the rest of our games to get into playoffs. And my coaching staff, they're looking at me. I mean, it's year 2 for me. I'm still learning, still trying to get my hands and a grip of things. And my coaching staff, they look at me, they're like, what's next? You know, like maybe next year. And I'm like, I put my head down and I thought to myself, we're not done.
Yep.
You know, I was so close to saying, okay, maybe next year. But I had that instinct. I said, we're not done. You know, we come back and we win the next 6 games, right? And we punch the ticket to the playoffs. We get home court advantage here, and we beat Chariho, and we get to the quarterfinals. And that's 7 games right there. So technically that's 7 playoff games, sure, right? And we get in. We're not even supposed to be there. I got Kathy as the point guard, but I have another point guard, Gigi Ortiz. She's a field hockey player.
Yeah.
But I'm telling her, just believe in yourself. Just be confident and just believe. Yep. We're on a run.
Yep.
And she does that, and the kid is playing out of her mind, just off of just being confident and believing in herself.
And someone believing in her.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And that season, by far, I tell people all the time, that's my favorite season. But it was because we believed in something, you know? And people say, oh, well, he won the games he was supposed to win, right? Cool, you know? But I tell people all the time, step into my shoes.
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't have been able to do what we did that year because you're just teaching these kids X's and O's.
Yeah.
It wasn't about that. It was a lot of rehabbing, coming together, you know, and I always say X's and O's is probably 30-20% of the game.
Yeah.
They say sports is, 90% mental?
Yeah.
X's and O's are only 20% of the game. But if you got a kid that believes in themselves, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
You know? And I go back to that. So after that season, I really realized if you're comfortable within yourself and you believe in what you're doing, the outside noise doesn't matter.
Yep.
And it took some time for me to understand that. But I've gotten to the point where, man, look at where you're at. There's only one man that can really judge you, but he's the one that got you to where you're at, and it's God.
Yep.
So why are you listening to that outside noise?
Yep.
You know, it's hard. And like you said, I mean, when you mentioned the name Ed Brady, I'm like, my heart, he has done a lot of things for me, you know? So I would be shocked to even hear people say that because it's like, that man will do anything for his community.
Oh, thanks,
that
Coach.
man would do anything for Rhode Island, you know? So at the end of the day, you got to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
You got to, and especially, you know, when you're doing well, just keep rolling.
Yeah.
You know, people are going to say good things, people are going to say bad things because I heard you earlier. Some people may congratulate you, but are they really congratulating you?
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you. Keep it moving.
Yeah, yeah.
They say something negative. Thank you. Keep it moving.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so
that's kind of life. You just got to keep going.
Got to keep going.
Got to keep
the
going.
The train continues to move.
Yep. But you talked on hard work. You talked on supporting others and building a good team and support system around you. I mean, these are all great lessons of life. How can people follow the next chapter of your career, Coach?
So, you know, right now we're in the middle of the season at Rhode Island College. Please tune in. Got a great group of young ladies. They work really hard. Got a great coaching staff. Coach Derek, Coach Jenna Crossgrove, Coach Claudia, who was actually inducted into the Hall of Fame. Great group, great team. You can go on our website, Rhode Island Women's Basketball. The link is up there for you to watch our games. Beat the Odds Lifestyle, Instagram. My Instagram, believe_Diggs. Tune in. We have a lot of stuff coming up for the spring. Just like I said, a lot of things happening so fast. But we're just going to keep the ball rolling.
Keep going.
Yes, sir.
Coach, I appreciate having you on today. More importantly, I appreciate what you're doing day in and day out in the community. It was important for me to have you on today and just kind of tell a little bit about your story and what you're doing and how you're helping people just like ourselves beat the odds every day and keep going, keep driving forward. So
I appreciate you having me, Ed. It was good to see you. Thank you guys for having me. We want to keep this story going. Like I said, it's not about me, but we're going to keep impacting the kids. We're going to keep working together to just impact and make our society, our community better.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you all for checking out another episode of the Park Podcast. We're here with Coach Diggs. Told his story. He's doing a lot of great work out in the community. Keep checking us out. We appreciate you watching, and check out the next episode. We hope you're enjoying. Bye, guys.